Okay, guys, I'll just wait for a few people to come on. More than half the people that have registered have not come into the group, so for whatever reason, maybe they don't want to, maybe they don't have Facebook, maybe they just prefer the recording. It's, yeah, whatever. Whatever. How are you guys this morning, this afternoon, well, whatever it is, wherever you are? Here it's a beautiful day. Clouds are starting to come. It's a bit it's a bit chippy. It's a bit chilly. It's a bit chilly. But with all the cockatoos and parrots, it's a perfect day to talk about mediumship. It's nice and early, so now you will hear a car start. Okay, that's my mum and brother going to the markets before my brother starts work. And my car is very loud because I'm sitting right in front of it, so I'll just pause for a minute when that happens. But yeah, perfect day to talk about spirit and mediumship, communication, telepathy, all of that. Now, this is an interactive workshop. Okay, I want you guys to talk to me. I want you guys to comment. I want you guys to comment between each other. Okay, this workshop's about communication. Okay, so don't be afraid to ask questions. Remember that the only silly question is one that is not asked. Okay, so make sure if you have a question, then ask. Okay. So important. Mediumship is such a controversial topic, okay, because of beliefs, etc., but it's also something that takes time and practice, and spirit communication is not it's not easy sometimes, okay, especially when you add your own beliefs, etc., into it. Communicating with spirit it can be complicated. Okay, deciphering messages can be complicated. It can be difficult to know what's you and what's spirit, and we'll talk about that later. Okay, so this workshop's going to go for 2 hours, so we'll do the first hour and then we will take a 5-minute break so you can go to the bathroom, get a cup of tea, coffee, check on kids, pets, whatever, and then we'll do the second half. Okay, I like to break it up into 2 bits. One, because I've sat in workshops that just are never ending, and sitting there, need to go toilet. No, workshop's still going. It's like, oh my god. And secondly, to download to 1-hour videos so I can upload them to YouTube is much easier than downloading and uploading a 2-hour video. So break it into 2 parts and it's easier for everyone. Alright, so don't forget to ask questions. Okay, talk amongst yourselves. It's all good. Alright, so mediumship, what is it? Okay, very simple. Mediumship is communication with spirit. The active communication with spirit. We all receive messages all the time from spirit. But mediumship is actually having a 2-way conversation. It is talking to spirit and receiving spirit's information, spirit's communication. Everybody is a medium. Okay, every single person on this planet is a medium. Whether you've sold your soul or not, you're still a medium. You're still receiving information and guidance, etc., from spirit. Now, mediumship is the active communication. So you're actively taking part in communicating with spirit. So, what is it? How do we do it? Alrighty, now this is where practice makes perfect, and you're never going to be perfect. The reason I say you're never going to be perfect is simple. Every time you get comfortable with your level of communication abilities or your level of communication, Spirit's going to throw in something else which is going to basically kick your ass off the cliff and see how far you can fly. Basically. So whenever you master one part of your communication, you go back to square one with something else. It's a cycle. It is never ending. I've been very active in mediumship and spiritual development, telepathy for 15 years. And I am still learning every single second of the day. 15 years I've been going at it. I started, oh my God, cockatoos. Why people want to have a cockatoo, I will never understand. They're so loud. So this, I'll tell you a little bit of story about how I started. Not a story, it's true. It's not a story. Okay, so when I first realized spirit was not just existing in movies to scare the crap out of people, which I love, by the way, I went to a lady who was giving development classes, mediumship development classes, and she was starting beginner class. So I went and I did beginner classes for 1 year with this lady every fortnight, once a fortnight. And then I took a year off, and then I went back for another year, and then I started teaching and going out and doing public demonstrations and all after that. Once I finished the classes, okay, that's when I started to learn. Okay, so the classes were just a guide into how to communicate with spirit for the basics. Okay, it was just the basics. Once I left classes, that's when my learning actually happened. That's when I started to really learn. So for the first 2 years of classes, all I was doing is learning to tune into spirit and how to decipher spirit's messages. After that, it was an actual learning. Okay, now I spent 2 hours a day, every day, 7 days a week without fail, 1 hour in the morning, 1 hour at night in meditation, without fail. Whether I was sick, whether I was competing at a horse competition, whether I was working, made no difference. 1 hour in the morning, 1 hour at night. Okay, what I learned was vibration. I learned about the universe. I learned about how life and consciousness works. I learned how people work, why life is on this planet, why life exists, our creator, creation, everything. Okay, absolutely everything. I learned about extraterrestrials, you name it. And it's still continuing. It never stops. There's always more to learn. Anyone who says, oh yes, I'm a medium, there's no need for learning, I've done it all. No, you learn all the time. When you stop learning is when you should stop doing what you're doing. Okay, because while you're learning, you're getting better all the time. I remember after one platform demonstration that I did at a spiritual church, the lady said to me, that was really good. Like, it was one of my very first times doing a public demonstration. She said, that was really good. I said, yeah, but I can do better. And she looked at me and, huh? I said, yeah, I can do better. She said, no, you're 100% accurate in everything you said. I said, yeah, but there's always room for improvement. She said, why improve when you've got it? And I looked at her shocked and I said, are you serious? Like, really? There's always room for improvement, no matter what you're doing. So I keep on working and working and working at it, and I don't do so many meditations now. My meditation's usually maximum 20 minutes, and I might do a meditation once a week, once a fortnight. Okay. And I do it only when I'm drawn to do it. Where I'm living, it's not exactly the best place to open up to spirit, so I tend to not open up that much because there's not that safe, energetic wise. It's not that safe here to do too much spiritual work, which is why I don't. Okay, so meditation. Okay, we need to look at meditation. First, I'll tell you about guides. So who in the spirit world is going to help you once you start your mediumship? Well, yourself. Your higher self is your main guide. Okay. Then you have guides that could be, ouch, sorry, my arm. My finger's going to go to sleep. Oh dear. How can I hold this without fingers and all going to sleep? No, I don't think there is a way. I really have to get a selfie stick. I tried, but my phone's too fat. I've got one of those fold phones, and the little clamps on the selfie stick thing, it's too narrow, it doesn't work. My phone's too fat. So your guides are yourself, okay, other spirit that has been assigned to help you, that you have a contract with, your past loved ones, they can be guides, your past pets can be guides, angels, archangels, extraterrestrials, multidimensionals, basically anyone in existence. Now, there's also something else that not many people understand and get really creeped out when I tell them this. Other people and animals and trees, even your car can be a guide, okay? Anything that is energetic can be your guide, and it's all the same, okay? Now, how much guidance they give will depend on the level of consciousness they have, okay? So, for example, many times I've woken up in the morning and I've received a message, "Hey Skye, I asked for guidance and you appeared at the end of my bed last night. You told me some really, stuff about myself and all of this." And I'm like, well, I must have had a good night's sleep. So each other, we can be each other's guides, okay? So at the moment, I'm your guide. I'm giving you information. I'm an energetic being giving you information, okay? That sun's starting to peer over the rooftop. So everybody can be your guide. Now, in meditation, okay, you're more than likely to get your master guide when you are beginning. Now, your guides change all the time. Your guides change as much as you change your underwear. I hope that is quite a lot. Okay, just like your aura. Your aura changes with the change of your emotions and thoughts and beliefs and everything. So, for example, if you are a doctor, okay, if you are health-wise, you're going to get a guide that specializes in health, in biology, in medicine. If you're a mathematician, you're going to get a guide who specializes in numbers. If you're an artist, you're going to get a guide who specializes in art. Now, if you have, that's like your master guide. Pardon me. So if you have, so let's just say this for example. Okay, say you are a history professor, okay, or an archaeologist, anything, and you have those guides that are specialists in history, archaeology, and all of that. You'd probably have one of the, what we call gods, gods of Egypt and the Norse gods and that. You'd probably have one of them as your master guide. Now, say you're a history professor and all of a sudden you get really sick. You're diagnosed with cancer or leukemia or MS or something else. Now, because you need to take time out of your day or time out of your life because you're now sick and you're going through treatment, your guide has changed. So now, instead of having a history guide, you've got a health guide. Okay, you've got a health guide now. So that guide is specializing in health, that is helping you through your health issues. Okay, guiding you on what to do. Now, for me, okay, I always use me. If you haven't been in my workshops before, I always use myself as an example because that's what I relate to. And most people say, oh yeah, I get it. So for me, my first job was riding horses. Okay, that was my job, riding race horses. So guess who I had as a guide, and still do? King Arthur, one of the greatest horsemen, warriors that ever walked the planet. Okay, horseman, okay, expert horseman. He still helps me when I did ride. He helped me through my competitions and everything. So brilliant. When I became a spiritualist, I had an expert first contact guide. Okay. Now, my master guide who has stayed with me from birth and will stay with you from birth no matter what. Sometimes they just stay in the background and the other guides come in and do their thing, okay? Depending on what you need at the time will determine what guide you have, okay? So when I became a spiritualist, my main guide changed to be a first contact specialist, and he's you know, he's probably standing right here. I haven't tuned into him yet, so he's always around, okay? Now, if I were to go through a health issue, my guide would change to a health person, okay? So just to determine, it just depends on what you're going through. Now, your master guide stays with you from birth till death, and they are the one that oversees your guidance, okay? So before you're born, your spirit knows what you're going to be doing, okay? What profession and all of that. So your master guide will be chosen for that particular thing. So it is somehow kind of related to your profession, but not only your profession. So if I have 5 different professions, then I will have the master guide that covers all those 5 different professions. Okay, that's the master guide. They just step back sometime, okay, and to allow others to come through. Okay, could you explain more about what your higher self is? Yes, it's your spirit. Okay, now I haven't gone into the absolute details on the different levels of spirit, but apparently there's 9 levels of the higher mind or the higher self. Okay, so your higher self is your spirit. That's you. Okay, now your if we go back and we look at the octopus analogy, and I will post this during the 5-minute break, the diagram of the octopus that I've done. If we look at that, okay, we see that the main body of the octopus is God source, okay, and each tentacle is an incarnation of you. I think I got that right. Yeah. Okay. So if we change God's source, God, we'll just say God, which is creation itself, all that is, everything in existence in the multiverse, okay, everything that's ever existed, that ever will exist. If we take that and change that, just for this topic of conversation, if we change that to your higher self, then we look down at each leg of the octopus, or each tentacle is an incarnation of you. In each of those tentacles, you've got different levels of consciousness that goes back to your higher self. Okay, so apparently there's 9. I haven't really looked into it. It's 7 or 9, I'm sure it's 9 levels of consciousness up to your God source, higher self, etc. Okay, so basically, and this is just a crash course in mediumship, basically for this particular discussion, your higher self is your spirit. That's you. Okay. Alrighty, so it's really, it's a simple process on how to communicate, on how to start. Meditation. Okay, meditation. If you can't meditate or you have trouble meditating, that's more reason to meditate. Now, if you're just raising your vibration, you absolutely do not need meditation. You do not need it. You just do whatever you enjoy doing. It could be gardening, it could be painting, it could be watching people falling over on YouTube videos, it could be watching people falling off horses and having all kinds of different dramas. That's me. Or you can do meditation. You can go swimming, whatever. But if you're communicating with spirit, you absolutely need to control your thoughts. It is vital. If you cannot control your thoughts, you cannot hear spirit's messages. Now, this is where practice and consistency comes into it. Okay, so to start meditation, just have a look on YouTube. There's plenty of meditation videos out there to connect with spirit. Pick the one that you feel drawn to and works for you, you feel comfortable with. Now, it can be guided. Okay, when you're starting, I prefer guided because it gives you something to focus on. Once you learn to focus, then I would get rid of the guidance, okay? Get rid of the voice in the music and just do it yourself with music. Simply because with guided meditations, they teach you to focus on something. But that does not allow Spirit to come in and give you messages to the full extent. Okay, so in this case, if you're new to meditation, you're new to mediumship, absolutely start with guided, okay? And then stop the guided meditation and go just with music. So how do you control your mind? How do you stop the thoughts running away while you're sitting there? Okay, so there's a few exercises you can do. One of them, which I use all the time when my brain won't stop working in overtime, is I imagine myself in a pitch black room, absolutely pitch black, and it's a very large room. Down the other end of the room is a very small white light, okay, almost like a crystal or a little light globe, or a diamond. Let's go diamond. Diamond just sounds better. Okay, you focus on that diamond, that light, and the more you focus, the smaller that light gets. When your focus starts to wane, starts to disappear and go elsewhere, the light gets bigger. You bring your focus back to that light, the light gets smaller. Your focus starts disappearing, the light gets bigger. So your goal is to get so focused on that light for more than 1 or 2 minutes, which even 10 seconds feels like a lifetime. But for more than 1 or 2 minutes, to focus on that light, so that light is barely existing. Thank you very much for that. Oh, these birds around here, I swear. When you can do that, because what this exercise teaches you is to remain focused, to stay thinking about the one thing. This is very good for kids with ADHD and autism and learning difficulties. Very good exercise, okay? What this teaches your brain is to remain focused and not wander, okay? So if you can, when you can do this for more than 20 seconds, then you'll give Spirit the chance to come in and give you information. Okay, so that's when you can start meditating properly. That's when the learning takes place. Now, when you meditate without music or without the guided meditation, so just music or nothing, or screaming birds, thank you very much. What you can do to raise your vibration, because we must raise our vibration to meet Spirit, to meet Spirit's connection. They can come down, but we have to go up as well. And when we go up, that's when the communication happens. So what I do when I sit down to meditation, I will sit, I will close my eyes, I will immediately start slowing my breath, I will immediately start focusing. Then I will raise my vibration, and this is how I do it. I imagine I'm bringing all of the energy from around me in through my legs and my feet, and moving that energy up through my knees, through my thighs, through my hips, up through my stomach, up through my chest, right up to my throat, my head, and I allow it to fill up my entire body. And you can almost feel your body changing, feel rising, okay? Because you're feeling the energy coming in. Then when my body is full of energy and I'm, like, okay, then I allow the energy to go through the top of my head, so through my crown chakra. And a lot of the time I will have visions of this as well as just the as well as the feeling, and I will see this wispy white smoke come out of my crown chakra. Oh my god, I can't talk. It's too early. Yeah, I'll see this wispy white smoke come out of my crown chakra and it'll go up into space, up through the Earth's atmosphere, up into space, and sometimes it will just keep on traveling, go between planets, and it'll just keep on going and going and going and going and going. Sometimes it expands around me after it comes out of my crown chakra. Sometimes it will go and encircle planet Earth. Sometimes it will go down deep into the Earth. Sometimes it'll go to a particular person or an animal or a location. It just depends. Follow it. Don't control it. Once your energy... There it is. There's the car. Okay, once your energy leaves your crown chakra, no need to control it. Follow it. Okay, really important to follow. You don't want to control that. So wherever it takes you, go with it. Okay, now this is where it gets interesting. You, as well as the wispy white smoke, or you're feeling your energy going outside your crown chakra, you can do it outside your heart chakra as well, so it comes out of your heart as well as your crown. You will feel a pull, an energetic pull, and that pull is your energy raising in consciousness, raising to another level of vibrational frequency. This is where the spirit communication happens. This is where they want you to be. Okay. Now, it doesn't have to be quite so strong. It can be very subtle. But when you feel that energetic pull, almost like you're being pulled out of your body, now that's where the real magic starts to happen. That's the connection you're after. Okay. That's where all the information can be downloaded from universal consciousness or creation itself. That's where you get to learn about life. That's where everything happens. Everything. Okay? It is a really magical place to be. And that's where I get all my learning from, is this space. Now, you're not exactly, when you're raising your vibration and communicating with spirit, you're not exactly leaving your body. It's just your awareness is expanding because of the raise in frequency. Okay? Which is really, really cool. Because once you can do that in meditation, you can do that while you're not in meditation at any time of the day or night. And it's a really cool thing to do. So meditation and communication with spirit is not just for readings or information. It's a whole different lifestyle. It's incredible. The feel when I'm talking to you, when I'm commenting on social media, when I'm doing videos, I'm constantly channeling spirit. I'm constantly allowing spirit to come through. That's why I always sound, or sometimes, that's why sometimes I sound intelligent. I'm not. I'm channeling spirit. Okay? I remember I did a class. It was a theory class, a mediumship theory class, where we weren't doing any exercises, nothing. It was all just explaining how spirit works, etc. And I spent 2 weeks outlining this class and what I was going to talk about. I printed out everything, wrote everything down. I had quite a thick book writing everything down. Then when I stood up in front of the class, I started talking, and all this about transmuting and transforming gold and how to use gold in a scientific, energetic way. And it was all about life on other planets. And it was just, my mum was sitting at the back. She's going, holy crap, where did that come from? And I'm like, I sounded like a university professor. I had no idea what I was talking about, but because I trusted spirit, because I knew that whatever was coming out of my mouth, it was from spirit, is exactly what needed to happen. And this is where you guys will get to as well, with practice and consistency. And it all starts with meditation, all of it. All of it starts with well, it actually starts with trust. Once you got the trust thing, then it starts with meditation. Now, one important point I forgot to say. When you're first starting with spirit, if you're not used to working with frequency and vibration, you need to protect yourself. Okay? So, say a prayer. Sit down, close your eyes, say a prayer. I haven't done one of these prayers for about 12 years. I don't even know what I would say. Dear Spirit, I ask that only the highest and the most holiest of energies come through that has my best interest in at heart. Please keep me safe from any negative energies or vibrations that wish me harm. Blah, 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 blah. Thank you. Okay, now I don't say amen, because amen is in the Catholic Christian is referencing Amun-Ra. Amun-Ra is my main mentor, the leader of one of the leaders of the civilization on Venus. I don't pray to him. Sorry. We got that running joke. I'd never say amen. When I do, I imagine Armin getting a much bigger head than he already has, and I don't want to give him that satisfaction or pleasure. Just a running joke I have with him. Okay, so yeah, always say an opening prayer when you're first starting. When you're used to working with spirit, it's not necessary, simply because your vibrational frequency is the protection. Okay, it is the prayer. But when you're first starting, then yes, I would, just to put the intention there that you do not accept any lower dimensional beings or anything like that. And then when you finish your meditation, I would say thank you, because then you're closing the portal for spirit communication. When you're more experienced, then you don't need to say, an opening or a closing prayer. Just simply your intention and your vibration is the opening and closing prayer. Okay, a lot of people disagree with me on that, but you cannot experience what you are not the vibration of. If you are higher vibration, then you cannot experience any dark entities or energies. And people say that's bullshit. It's actually true. Okay. From my experience, surfing around the universe, and with my experience with extraterrestrials, you cannot experience what you are not the vibration of. Okay. So I'll just go through a few comments with the sun glaring. Oh shit, nearly dropped my phone. Don't do that. $2,000 phone. Yeah, not happy with that. Hang on 1 second. Okay. Let me see. Can you explain more about your higher self? Yep, done that. How to make contact with your guide, how to meditate, right, to make this contact? Yep, done that. Anything I can think of desire is one of tentacle of octopus. No, so the tentacles of octopus, of the octopus is each lifetime that you have. So each physical incarnation. And it all goes back to your higher self, who is in charge or oversees all of your incarnations. So I'll post the picture and it will explain it much easier than I can actually explain it using words. What about using a mantra? Yep, that works too. Mantras work as well. I don't use mantra, but if that's what you're comfortable with, absolutely go for it. Does what you eat, drink, habits, etc. affect if you will establish a connection with spirit, or is it just practice? Okay, so one thing I want to make clear to everybody. Every single person can communicate with spirit. You have all the details. You have all the connection. You don't need to strengthen it so much. You simply need to tune into the right frequency. Okay. And the right frequency, how do we find that? Is through practice. It's through trial and error. Okay. Every person's got it. Every person can do it. You just have to find what works for you. Little bird, that's my toe. Thank you very much. Okay. Now, your drinking and eating habits. Okay. If you drink alcohol, more than just like a small glass of wine with dinner, yes, it's going to affect your connection because it lowers your vibration. Some people have trouble connecting and raising their frequency when they eat meat or dairy products or chocolate. In which case, again, it's personal to you. So some people have difficulty. I eat meat and I'm a chocoholic and a junk foodaholic. I have no problem whatsoever. None at all. Okay, so it just depends on each person, and this is why I always say you do you. Don't follow the spiritual trends like the whole vegan, you must be vegan to, or you can't eat meat to connect to spirit. That's just putting another box. That's just like religion. It's just adding another box for you to be a prisoner of. You do what works for you. Okay, if eating junk food works for you, go for it. Some people feel like they need to fast for a few hours before connecting to spirit, because they feel that raises their vibration. If it works, go for it. But alcohol is a no-no. Okay, absolute no-no. It's not called spirits for no reason. Okay, it lowers your vibration, which it doesn't stop your connection with spirit. It just invites the wrong spirits in, and because you're intoxicated, you don't have control, which means anything can come in, and once it's in, sorry, you've got it. And then even if you can get it out, you're susceptible to it, because now the dark has imprinted its energy marker on you, so you'll be susceptible in the future for dark entities to come. Okay, so it's really important that you do what is best for you. But overall, your food, your diet should not affect it. Okay, unless you're doing really stupid shit. Okay. What about using... Oh, I read that. I read that. Why do you keep going back? Oh my god, it keeps on going back. My transfer is disturbed, so I cannot follow the content very well. Oh, I'm sorry, Lila. Do you need to talk in your head to your guide while meditating? You can. You can. Sometimes it's okay. How do messages come? Okay, sometimes they are just a feeling, just a knowing. Sometimes it could be the hair raising on your arm or the back of your neck. Sometimes you see a quick vision. Sometimes you hear voices. Sometimes you smell something. Sometimes you will feel something with your body, a bit of pressure or something. All of these sensations is how spirit messages come through. So for me, I have it all. When I'm doing a reading, I will have it all. When I first started, they were very strong and lasted for quite some time. Now, I may get 0.2 of a second of the feeling, and then boom, it's gone. It's gone as quick as it comes, because I've learned to recognize it for what it is. Okay, so it can be really, again, it's very personal to you, because everyone receives it differently. Some people receive song lyrics. That's the message. Okay, song lyrics. For example, if you love music, spirit will probably use that to give you messages, so they'll give you song lyrics. And you take notice of that. I had a song in my head, Bohemian Rhapsody. It went for 5 days in my head, the same chorus over and over and over again. I knew exactly what it was all about. It was, I didn't mean to make you cry. That was the one phrase that stood out for 5 days over and over and over. And why? Because I just had a fight with my guides, and I told them in a few more words basically to F off and get out of my life. Which we have since reconciled. So that was the message. That's how they were, telling me, come on, let's get going, as I didn't mean to make you cry, but it was over and over again. So you can talk to spirit in your head. How they communicate back will depend on what senses are strongest within you. Okay, so if you are a visual person, like an artist, then you will more than likely get a lot of visual stuff. So you'll see visions in your head, like watching a TV or watching a YouTube video, whatever. Okay, if you're a musician, you'll probably get song lyrics. If you're an animal person, there'll be a lot of animal references. So if you're doing a reading for somebody or getting a message about someone, okay, that has a sore leg, you might see a dog limping, okay? Sometimes the messages come through exactly as they're intended, exactly what the message is. And sometimes they will take you round and round in circles to challenge you to get to the actual message. And this happens all the time. Working with spirit is like working with the worst, the hardest personal trainer that you could ever imagine. It's not easy working with spirit. Anyone who thinks you're just going to sit in meditation, it's all going to be love and light and fairies and doves and, oh, this is so beautiful, and yeah, it starts out that way. It doesn't end that way. The more experienced you get, the harder it gets. Okay? The more in depth you work with spirit, the more you are put through challenges and tests, and it's really, really hard. Really hard. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to say it's all nice and easy. It's not. The more advanced, the harder it is. Okay? How hard or how advanced you want to go will depend on your commitment, will depend on how hard you're prepared to work. Okay? Because it's not for the faint-hearted. If you just want to sit and get nice little lovely messages from spirit and put no real effort in, and you don't want to take it any further or do anything else, then great. Fantastic. But if you actually want to work with spirit and learn about the universe and move on to telepathy, and because mediumship is the gateway to telepathy, so if you want to actually really do something with it, then you need to be prepared to work and work hard. Okay, really work hard. So yes, you can talk to them in your head. Okay, how they answer you and talk back to you will depend on you and your senses. How about the language with the rise? Also does not change the language. No, because it's all vibration. Okay, so as you raise your vibrational frequency, you will get more detailed information. And also the way you receive the information will become more complex. So instead of just having visions or song lyrics, you will start to get whole body sensations. You will start to get voices in your head, smells, all different kinds of sensations. So the higher the vibration, the more information, more detailed information you receive, and the more ways you receive it, and you'll receive it more often. Okay, you'll receive it all the time. It won't stop. But it doesn't stop now. It's just you will recognize it for what it is, so you're more aware of it. Okay. If you're on medication, will that dull your contact? That totally depends on what medication you're on. Completely. Okay, absolutely, completely depend on what medication you're on. If you're on blood thinners, no, it won't affect your medication. It won't affect your connection. If you're on basic painkillers, nope, won't affect it. If you're on, let's say, hallucinogenics, yes, it will affect it. If you're on antidepressants, yes, it will affect it. So anything that dulls your sensations and dulls your mind, or if you're on a sedative, yeah, you haven't got much chance of communicating with spirit because you won't be able to raise your vibration enough to communicate. So again, it just depends. Oh, my first spider of the day. It just depends on what medication it is and how high your frequency is and how experienced you are. I remember when I had shoulder surgery many years ago, I was on all kinds of massive amounts of painkillers and nerve blocks and all kinds of different things. And I had just started working with spirit, and I went to one of my classes. It was like my first year working with spirit, and I went to my class, and she said, "Oh no, you can't be here." And I said, "Why?" And she said, "Oh, you've had an anesthetic in the last week." And I said, "Yeah." And she said, No, that's going to dull your connection." I said, "Oh, well, I'm here now, even if I just stay for the meditation." Anyway, I stayed, and we got to the end where we all stood up one at a time and did readings for someone in the group, and I ended up doing 5 readings instead of 1. So, it just depends on your connection, on your frequency, and what medication you're on. Okay. Same for smoking cigarettes. What's in the cigarette? What kind of cigarette? If you're... Okay, this is where it gets controversial. Okay, so I'm just going to stick with cigarettes, not any other smoking types. Again, it depends on your frequency and your connection, okay, as to if it affects you or not. If you're in a lower vibrational state, then the cigarette will affect you. If you're in a higher vibrational state, then no, the cigarette won't affect you. If you're smoking 3 packs a day, then you will become spirit pretty soon, so you won't have to worry. I'm joking. I get songs all the time, early in the morning, love those messages. Yeah, especially if you know the song. Does coffee have the same impact as alcohol? Look, not so much. Again, it depends on you and where you are. But there is one substance that affects everybody negatively, and that is alcohol. Everything else depends on you and where you are. Okay? Do guides only pass on messages when you ask them for something, or do they do it on their own? They do it on their own all the time. All the time. Okay? Constantly. You're constantly getting information from spirit and your guides. Constantly. How you respond to that information and those messages is up to you, and it depends on the context of the message. God, I can't wait till I get my own house out on a farm. I won't have any of this crap noise everywhere. It's good education, it's good practice, all the distractions, and I always get distracted like I did just then. Okay, back to focus. Where's my little black room and my little diamond light? Okay, so yeah, now one thing, when you get messages for other people, this is something I am huge on. Many people say they'll be standing in in line at the supermarket or something like that, and they'll get a message for the person in front or behind them. Now, I would never give a message to somebody unless spirit was banging me over the head. Okay, I would never give a message to someone that did not ask for it, unless my life is in danger. Okay, simply because that is an invasion of privacy. You don't know how that person's going to react. You don't know how that person's going to respond. That person could be in such a hurry to get away from the witch, that's just, they believe has just put a spell on them, that they, on their way home, they drive so fast they have an accident. Okay, you don't know how they're going to respond. So I never ever give a message that is not asked for. But spirit will give you information all the time. Now, I receive this quite often, and it does my head in, and I hate it. I hate it with a passion. I will post something on social media, and I'm not feeling it. I'm not going through it, but other people are, so it's inspiration for them. And I will receive a message from someone saying, "Oh, Skye, I know how you're feeling, and are you okay? I feel you're not doing this. I feel you need to do this. You need to be doing, you need to be focusing on blah, blah, blah. You're blah, 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 blah." Okay. Unwarranted messages is invasion of privacy. It's like someone walking in off the street into your house and going through your house. Anyone reading somebody else without their permission, big no-no. Big no-no. It's like the internet person that you've called to your house to fix the internet going through your underwear drawer to see what you got. No. No. So never give an unwarranted message that spirit gives you. okay? Because you don't know how that person is going to react. They can react very badly, okay? It's something that so many people do, and so many have a bad result. I've had people and clients that have come to me and said, I lost my connection. I want to get it back because when I was younger, Spirit gave me a message and I gave it to the person, and that person ended up, I had one the other week that ended up dying. They hung themselves because of the message that was given. So never, ever, ever give an unwarranted or an unasked for message, okay? The Spirit will give them to you all the time, but you don't have to pass them on. Okay. Oh, you're right, Poland. Don't worry. It's all good. Do different practices such as tarot, runes, etc. accelerate your connection with higher self? No, they do not. They do not. So tarot cards, runes, oracle cards, crystals, Ouija boards, all of that, they are just tools to direct your energy. Just tools. Okay. You are the one that is receiving the information. Not the runes, not the tarot, you. You're using those tools to direct the information, to direct the energy and interpret the information. It's all you. When people begin doing readings, I always say use a tool because it helps you, okay? It does help you in that time because it gives you confidence. That's the only help it gives, is confidence. You're the one actually receiving the information. Not the rune, not the tarot card. It's you. So you're doing all of it. But the tool helps you with confidence. Okay. So you absolutely use it. But just remember that it's all you. You do not need any tools. It's all you. All of it. The whole lot. Alright. Hang on 1 second. Sorry guys. Okay. God, 49 minutes have gone already. Holy crap. Okay. Yeah, it's all you. Alright? Even a Ouija board. It's still you. Okay? Many people go, oh, Ouija board, scary stuff. It's work of the devil. It's demon portals. If you're using it to see what happens, if you're using it to get information, that's low vibrational. You're going to get lower vibrational energies. Like attracts like. If you're using a board to connect with your higher self, to connect with your guides, to connect with higher dimensional beings and learn, that's what you're going to get. Just like with every other tool. Meditation, if you do your intent with meditation of seeing what happens and getting some action, that's what you're going to get. Okay? Like attracts like. Meditation is no safer than using a Ouija board. It's you. It's your intention. It's your energy that creates any kind of negativity. If you look at every single Ouija board encounter, and I know this is moving a little off the track. If you look at every single Ouija board encounter, everyone who uses it that has a bad experience is either really sick, struggling with their with finances, struggling in their relationship, struggling within themselves, or they just want some action. See what happens. I'll use a Ouija board, see if Spirit's there. You want to play? Okay. Spirit will play. Okay? Every one of them that has a bad response to a Ouija board has created that bad response by their intention or their vibration. Okay? When you know how to work with Spirit, you don't get the bad stuff no matter what you do. You don't, because you respect it. You understand it. So you don't get any bad stuff. Okay? It's all about your intention. Okay? Let me see. It's very hard when like you're on a drive-through line, especially like, and they take your order, and I had this gut-wrenching pain in my stomach when I talked to her. I couldn't give her the message that her brother was okay because I didn't want to freak her out while she was at work. Exactly right. The car's back. Okay, that's exactly right. Never ever give a message that is unasked. Okay. Should we take appointments with spirit to not disturbing them? Look, again, this is something that was taught to me when I started. Always try and set a time, a place, and a day that is regular. Then that way spirit knows, okay, at 6 p.m. on Friday night, Karen will be opening up to meditation. Okay, but time and space doesn't exist in the spirit world. Okay, it only exists in the physical. So it doesn't matter what time. I've had times where my guides have asked me to do a meditation and I'm like, yep, okay, and then I go and watch TV or I forget or something like that, which is normal for me. And then I go, oh my god, I got to do a meditation. And then I go and do the meditation and they say, okay, can you give us a few minutes? And I'm like, yeah, sure, no problem. 10 minutes later they come. Okay, so I would, when you're starting out, set a specific time and day regularly, like every Friday at 6 p.m. as an example. And then that way you're aware of it, spirit's aware of it, and it becomes a habit. Okay. How do you know when the voices in your head is not your own thoughts rather than spirit? Okay, we'll do that in the next section of this workshop. So the second part, because I've got it all written down. We'll go through that. We have to be sure whoever is talking to us is really our guide, and how can we be sure? Again, I'll talk about that. Why would they give you a message in the first place? Interesting. Because it's for your own awareness. Okay, it's your own connection, your own awareness. Alrighty, sometimes the message for other people is actually for your own development. Okay, spirit can give and give and give. It doesn't mean you have to give. Okay. Oops. If I hear a message and it encourages them, why not? Yeah, look, again, this is something that you have to use your own discernment with. For me, if it's encouraging or not, I wouldn't, because let's be honest, so many people think that communication with spirit is demonic or witchcraft. So even though it's encouraging, you don't know where that person is in their belief. Okay, you can walk up to someone and say, hey, you know what, you're doing really well, you're doing really good, and they'll go, oh, okay, thank you, okay, beautiful, thank you so much, oh, that was so lovely. You can walk up to someone and say, hey, you know what, spirit said you're doing really well. Oh my god, that's it, you're now a witch, you're now a demon, you're demonic. That person who is extremely religious now goes to church and wants an exorcist because a demon touched her. So I wouldn't. Okay, use your discernment, but personally I absolutely would not give an unwanted message. You don't know how the person is going to react, whether it's positive or not. Is your higher self actually your master guide? No, I do not believe so. How do you know the voices in your head are thought? Okay, I'll go through that in the next section. Do you know about the new WAV watch sound frequencies? No, I do not. Why we received info about other people if we can't tell them what we received? What do I do with this information? You don't have to do anything with this information. It's up to you what you do with it. Sometimes spirit gives you information that's just for you, just for your learning, just to open your awareness, just communication, just for you to continue receiving messages, to honing your senses. Okay, so you don't have to do anything with the information you receive. Is it appropriate to ask Spirit if future events will happen and when, or is it low vibes and we should let it go and wait and see? You can ask. Good luck. I've asked many times. I never receive an answer. It's always soon. Soon. I tell you what, if I hear that word one more time, I'm going to start doing something. Soon, soon, soon. Okay. So, yeah, it's not low vibes. You can ask. You can absolutely ask. But one thing, if you are in the vibrational frequency of, or in alignment with Spirit, then there's no need to ask, because you know everything will happen perfectly in divine timing. But still try and ask. They challenge us, so why not challenge them? Alright guys, I'm going to leave it here for the first hour, okay, and we'll come back and we will go through the last part. So 5 minutes, okay, so go get a drink and do whatever, and then when you come back, look for the video titled Part 2, okay. Many people go back to Part 1 and think, I've heard all this before, that's very strange. Okay, so the next video will be labeled Part 2. Okay, so make sure you get on the right one. Alright, thanks guys. See you soon.